Yo, what's going on guys? Beb from RTFKT here. I'm going to show you how to make your VRM using Clone Converter. It's this brand new Blender plugin we made. It works on version 3.2 of Blender. I'm going to walk you through it. But what is a VRM? We'll start there. So most people think VRMs mean you need a headset, you need to be in VR. No, it doesn't. You can still just hop onto a laptop or a computer, and in the future probably phones, and interact in these type of worlds with your 3D character, right? You can run around, you can sit down, you can hang out with your friends. This supports full multiplayer, right? So we can sit down at the computer, we can do all these interactions in the browser. And this is what a VRM is. This is the type of file that we need to be able to do this. And if you had a headset like an Oculus, you could go into the same world with your friends in full VR. So let's make that. Okay, so first thing you need, let's head over to clonex.rtfkt.com, download your clone files. It'll ask you to sign in with your MetaMask and check your clone and all of that. Just download your clone files into a place where you can find it, okay? So the big note I have here is check this number. You see how mine says 13? If I look at this folder that I saved my clone files to, I have 11, okay? If your number does not match, something might be wrong. My number is 2 less because what I did was I skipped downloading the tech jogger and the leggings. I didn't download these two. The oversized jogger was good for me, so I know I have all my files, even though I have 11 and not 13, okay? So make sure you download all those files first, and then go to this link, what included in the description of this video. This will be all the files you need to make this project happen, okay? So we have clone tools in here, we have a VRM add-on for Blender, we have a bone assignment.json, and a clone converter, this new plugin that we're featuring. Okay, we also have Blender 3.2. This folder, don't download the whole folder, has the Windows, Mac, and Linux Blender 3.2 versions in here. Just download the one you need. I'm on Windows, I'm downloading this one, okay? When you're done, you should have something that looks kind of like this. You have your clone files all organized into one folder, the Blender install, and the other files I was talking about. You will not have this. You will not have this shortcut UVR, okay? This is just for me to show you my keys when we get into Blender. Once you have everything installed, meaning Blender, and everything else downloaded, your plugin will look kind of like this. It might look like this right here. We're going to go up to Edit. We're going to go to Preferences, okay? This is the first step. We're going to click on Add-ons first, and then click on Install. I'm going to install this shortcut VUR. You do not have this file. Don't worry about it. Okay, and I'm going to show you shortcut VUR. I'm going to turn it on. I am installing this because what this does is it shows you the keys I press, okay? So if I click on this over here and I turn this on right now, from now on, it'll show you at the bottom right on this section of the Blender map what keys I'm pressing so you guys can follow along visually. All right. Now do that same exact process of install and finding the files, the clone converter, the clone tools, and the VRM add-on. Install all of them. Just click that, install. Next, clone tools, install. Next. Do that to all of them, but you have to make sure that they are checked. This is an enable disable feature. So you have to make sure that all the files that you are downloading and installing into this window right here are enabled. Check them, okay? That includes the VRM one, which is this VRM format. Make sure this is also checked. That's the files included in the files folder that I just showed you. Okay, once you have all that installed, if your screen still looks like this, what we need to go and do is go up here to the top right, click this little window right here, and that opens this menu up. The shortcut key for that is the letter N. If you hit N, it just opens up this side pane. Okay, now we'll start with clone tools. All right, now we're building. All right, we're building our clones really quickly. First thing we need to do, go to your clone files folder. I would click right here, and I would copy this directory. Right, so I right-clicked, I hit copy. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to hit open clone 3D files. I'm going to click in here. There is no left and right clicking in this window. You just hit Control V or Command V, whatever you have on your computer, to paste, and then hit enter. And then it'll show you the folder, okay? Everything is zipped up. No part of this process do you need to unzip anything. Probably should have told you that 1 minute ago. But never unzip anything, you don't have to. If you're following along, you didn't anyway, right? So leave everything zipped up, hit select location, and I'm going to show you what it's doing on the side. So it's actually just unzipping everything for me and you in the meanwhile. So it's just doing all of the unzipping for you. That's why you don't have to unzip it. When you're done, you'll have your clone just chilling there like that, ready to go. Okay, from here, what we need to do is go to Clone Converter. All right, so Clone Tools is done for the most part. We will need to use this pose section here. We're going to flip back and forth between Clone Converter and Clone Tools just for the poses. But for now, we're going to go to Clone Converter, and I'm going to introduce you to this new plugin and its functions and what it does. If you're not familiar with Blender, here is the very short version of how to use this plugin, okay? All you need to do is click on each tab and click on the big button, basically. So click on Scene Optimization, do all scene optimizations. This will do all of them. Just hit this, boom, everything is cleaned up. If you want to see your character better because he's way there in the back of the room super far, you want to left click on this zoom and just drag your mouse or scroll or trackpad forward and then move with the hand. So left click on the hand and just move him down. Okay. If you want to snap to a front facing direction, hit this little -Y right here. Left click on it. Boom. And now you're snapped. Right? So now he's repositioned better. Now we'll go to Mesh Optimization. Just hit the one button. What this does is it adds a decimate modifier to every single object in the scene, and it sets it to 0.1, meaning it's about a 90% reduction to its vertices, meaning it's very, very optimized at the sacrifice of it looking a little bit worse in quality, right? But for the most part, it still looks very good, okay? And then this is what we are expecting after. So we're expecting the triangles to be somewhere around 10,800. This is okay. This is okay. What's considered really, really, really good on most platforms is around 4,000 to 5,000. What's considered okay is 10 to 15, right? So we're in a decent range. From here, what you want to do is you want to look through all the models, names, and get rid of things you don't need. For example, eye shine doesn't really do anything. It's a thin, transparent layer over the eyes. You can always delete eye shine pretty much. So you can hit this little trash can here, and it will remove the object and delete it completely. And you can see no visual changes have occurred. Okay. Now, if you are looking at your clone and you're like, whoa, man, my clone is jacked up on the face. You can now adjust this ratio here by left clicking and just sliding this around, and it'll bring some of that quality back. But you can also tell it's bringing the quality back at the sacrifice of how many triangles there are in your object, okay? So you want to find a good sweet spot somewhere in the middle that has triangles that are still low, but still retaining some quality, okay? So that's the whole game. How low can we get this without it looking terrible, right? So you go and you adjust these ratios manually, or you just say screw it and just export it as it is. That's up to you. Okay, next, we're going to go to texture optimization. So if you don't know, every single thing on your clone has image textures. That's what gives it its color, its bumpiness, its roughness. It's all images that are doing this, okay? The easiest way to do this process is just hit do all. However, if you are using emissive shaders, meaning you're using shaders that have emissive, I have to show you. Check this out. Okay, so if I hit this, I'm using an emissive shader on my clone's face. These lines, these are emissive shaders, right? This is an emissive image texture on my face. If I hit do all, it will remove all, so it will remove the emissive, so the lines will disappear. Now I don't have the lines in my face. Okay, that kind of sucks, right? Because I wanted them to be on my face. If that's what you wanted, you should not have hit do all, okay? You should have hit roughness, metallic, normals, unused, and left this one alone. If you make that mistake, there pretty much is no Control Z to undo. I'm going to try it right now, but it's okay. It works. Control Z to undo, and you'll get out of it. If it doesn't work because you did too many actions and it can't go that far back, just start over. Go File, New, and start over from like 2 minutes ago, right? But it looks like you can just Control Z that. So in this case, I'm just going to roughness, metallic, And you want to make sure you see this confirmation at the bottom. Normals and unused, deleted. And I'm leaving the emissive because I have an emissive shader. And then I am done. And then go to image optimization. What this tool does is it takes all of the images attached to your clone, saves them, compresses it to a JPEG, compresses it to a 1K, and puts them back on your clone. Okay, so you just hit the button and it does all of that for you. It's gonna take like 10 seconds, maybe 15, depending on your computer. It's gonna take a minute. Just give it a second, let it do its thing. The blue button will go away and it'll be done. Boom. Okay, so now it shows me these are the names of all of my objects. They match these names here, these triangles. These are the material names. You don't really need to know that, but that's for people who do care. And then these are all the images with an underscore optimized to tell you they've been optimized. And that's it. That's all that is. You're pretty much done. Okay, so the process is so simple, really. It's scene, right? Do all. Mesh, hit this, adjust some sliders. Textures, do all. Unless you have an emissive, then hit the other 4 buttons, don't hit emissive. Images, optimize, we're in the export already. If you know how to use Unity and you want to take over and work on your VRM in Unity because it's kind of designed for that, then hit export as FBX and it will export it as an FBX ready for Unity, all packed with the copy path mode and embed images, all that fun jazz for you. So Unity ready to go. If not, what we're going to do is hit File, Export, VRM. Okay, when I hit this menu will pop up. We need to load the bone assignment. So when you were downloading your files earlier, you might have been like, what the heck is bone assignment? This is it right here. Okay, so if I paste this in here, bone assignment, hit load bone mapping. Now it's going to take a second. Once all the random things disappear like that, it takes like 1 or 2 seconds. You can go to VRM tool. And this might take a second because it's your first time opening it. So we go to VRM tool and then we want to open this humanoid and let it load again. You don't actually have to do this part. I'm just showing you. So this is where we loaded in all of our VRM's bones. So because I gave you that file, you don't have to assign anything. I just already did it. And you load the bone assignment and it automatically maps your entire clone to this VRM exporter, right? So we can just close this and go back to clone converter. Now, if you hit File, Export VRM, it will not work because we need to do one final step. You need to go to Clone Tools, you need to switch to pose mode, and you need to put on the pose for VRMs, okay? There's a pose in here called VRM. Right-click Apply, then go File, Export, VRM, okay? I'm going to save it into this folder right here, calling it Clone Tools, that's fine. Hit Export VRM. It's going to make this weird little number shape. It's going to disappear. Technically, we should be done. Open up my folder, Clone Tools VRM, drop it in. Boom. Heavy, great, perfect, heavy, perfect. Okay. Hit equip. Look at that. We are working. You're technically already done. If you're cool with the way your clone looks, at this point, you're done. You finished. You load it. Yeah, good job. Go enjoy having your VRM inside of these different platforms. If your clone looks like my clone, and if you have a little bit of Blender experience, or you want to dive a little bit into the more advanced parts of this, we're going to fix some things. You see how there's some flipping going on? Meaning I can see under my clothes a little bit. If I move maybe here, the back, it's all clipping like that. Okay, and then a little bit on the leg. You can see the leg going to the pants. The word for that is called clipping. And what that means is the model underneath the outer layer, when the body bends or moves, it's breaking through, okay, right? So that's clipping. We need to fix that, and we can fix that pretty easily. If I go back into Blender, we can switch pose mode, go back into a pose. You want to work in your default pose. Go back into, actually we don't need plugins anymore. We'll Put this on the side. We need to now cut things. So I might do some more advanced stuff. And I'm going to move my head real quick. Let me just move my camera. We probably don't need this over. This is probably fine. It's a bit area. Okay. We need to delete underneath of the objects, okay? So how can we do that? First thing we need to do is switch into object mode. So I'm going to click on the top left over here, go to object mode. And then we need to make sure this overlays are on. If you can't see anything, you're like this, and you're like, what the heck? Turn this on right here, show overlays. Now you can see the grid, you know you can see things, okay? I'm gonna start with the body. We're gonna click on the body, so I can see the body's highlighted. We're gonna switch to edit mode over here, okay? A trick I'm gonna show you right now, the fast way to do this is Z. So you hit the letter Z, and it gives you this window like this, right? And I'm gonna switch to wireframe, okay? I'm going to Z again. I'm going to switch to material. Material is the view you've been in this whole time. It's also indicated up here at the top right. You have material and you have wireframe. All right, so if I switch to wireframe, wireframe, material. Okay, this is just your fast way of doing it without having to go up here. So if you see me doing this, I'm doing this. It's the same process, okay? Whatever you're comfortable with. Now I'm going to hit the letter A. I hit the letter A for all. This is going to select all of the vertices, and because I selected only the body before I switch into edit mode, it's only going to show me the vertices, these little dots of the body. And we're going to start to delete some things. So for my clone, it's pretty easy. I'm going to go and I'm going to zoom in. I'm zooming in with scroll wheel. If you don't have that, you can also zoom in with this. And then I am going to move, okay? To move without the hand, it's hold shift and scroll wheel, okay? And then you can move with the mouse. That's the same thing as this tool. Same thing. To zoom with the scroll wheel is zoom right here. Shift, scroll wheel, click, move mouse is this right here. And then rotate is dragging this compass around or holding the middle scroll wheel and dragging your mouse around. Okay, so that's all the functions to navigate and look around the scene. So I'm going to zoom in over here and I'm going to go down to the leg. And what I need to do is I want to delete somewhere around here, probably this line right here. So to do that, you have two ways to do this. I'm going to show you my favorite way and I'm going to show you maybe an easier way. If you hold the Alt key on a Mac, it's the Option key. Hold it and left click the line between two dots, okay? Let me zoom in even closer. You see how there's a line between two dots? I'm going to unclick over here. If I click, hold the Alt or Command, no, Alt or Option on Mac, Alt on Windows, hit the dot. I just lied to you. Hit the line between the two dots. It's complicated, I know. Hit the line between the two dots while holding Alt. Boom. That is a ring selection loop, okay? You want to grab the whole ring, hit the letter X and delete the vertice. We can then move over to another joint. Zoom in. Make a ring. Hit the X. Delete the vertices. Why do you have to hit the line between the two dots? Because if you hit the dot, it'll do this. And it'll go up the character. You don't want that. If you hit the line between the two dots, it'll ring around. There you go. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so we got the two legs cut. Now I want to go up to the hand joint. We're going to get in here. Okay, so I'm going to cut probably around. I'll go one up to be safe. I'm going to show you another way to do it. If you don't like the holding Alt thing that's not working for you, you can also hit the letter C. C will make this little circle thing. Then you can hold your left click and highlight. So I'm holding left click and I'm dragging to highlight. Okay, and then if you right click, it will undo or let go. So I right click to let go. You can also hit escape to let go of that little circle thingy and you go back to normal. And then you hit X to delete the vertices. Nice. Move over here. Zoom in. Awesome. So same thing. See? Highlight. I'm going to show you with a mistake. Oops. I got it over here. Okay. Hit escape or right click to get rid of it. Hold control. If you hold control on Windows or command on Mac, you can then highlight an area and that will undo selection. So unselect. Right, now you cleaned it up. Now hit X and delete those vertices. Now, awesome. So now select anything in this area. So if I hit A, I'll show you. So I made cuts on the hands and the feet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to material mode. And when I move up to the chest, I can't see any suit under my clothes. So because I can't see any suit under my clothes, I believe it's safe to delete any suit that's under my clothes. So I'm going to click a dot here, hold Control, and hit L. So Control L is select linked. So it grabs anything that's linked together. So because we made the cuts on the hands and the feet, it won't grab the hands and the feet. Now to hit X, you can delete all of those vertices. Now what do I have remaining are just hands and feet. Awesome. Cool. So now I have no suit that could possibly break through my body. Okay. But what about the shirt? If you have a difficult clone like me, you might have a shirt underneath a jacket, and that sucks because we have to clean that up, and I'm going to do it with you, even though I don't want it, but we're going to do it. Okay, so this is how I would do it. This is a more challenging one, and hopefully you can learn a thing or two from it. I'm going to close this side menu by hitting the letter N. Okay, this is how I would do it. I would switch into edit mode. The hotkey for that is tab. You can see that on the bottom, right? And then I would hit any of the dots on the shirt, and then I would hit Control L. Control L grabs all the linked. I taught you that already as well. Then I'm going to hit the letter P. P is separate. So P is separate by, and I'm choosing selection, okay? Because I have something selected. If I hit this, and then when I hit enter, I have two of this red varsity jackets now. And if I switch back into object mode, you can see this object and this object are two separated objects now. What's nice about that, for you advanced users who care about this, I'm going to move my head just quickly. The modifiers are automatically added when you do this to the next one, so they retain, like, not the value, but like nothing changes, you know what I mean? It stays the same, which is a good thing. Anyway, so now we need to cut the shirt from the jacket, because the shirt's going to go through the jacket when I run sometimes. We've seen that. I saw some black cutting through, and that sucks. Okay, so I'm going to snap to the front. This is how I would do this. I'm going to go into edit mode. I can see here that somewhere under here and somewhere under here is a good place to cut. So I'm going to switch here and hit the letter A. Okay, I can kind of see the outline of my jacket, so that makes it really, really nice. I'd probably select maybe... No, that's too close. Let's go back and snap here. Maybe here. Let's see. If I go here, if I delete this vertex, can you see anything? Yes, you can. You see that? You see there's a hole there? Oh, we don't want that. So that's not a good dot. We need to hit maybe next to it. If I delete this one, and then go back up here, can you see the cut? Only if you go below, so maybe that's fine. Maybe that's fine. Or maybe to be safe. I'm also hitting Control Z a lot to undo. I assume you know that one though. And then maybe try this one. Try this dot. Okay, that's a little deeper. You really shouldn't be like way over here to try to see. Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, now edit. And then wireframe. And then at the front. And then hopefully I'm not going too fast. So we need to delete these things. That's probably where I'm going to make that cut for this side. And the equal and opposite would probably be this dot, I think. I'm just guessing. It doesn't look like it. No, it's probably one lower. Oh, it's deleted from the back. Be careful you don't delete through, because you can. Oh, maybe I can grab it from here. So I deleted this vertex. Oh, yeah, that worked pretty well. Cool. Wait. No, don't grab that one. That was not a good one. Let's grab maybe this guy deep over there. That's a little more acceptable. So now I have my cuts that I want to make over here on this side, and I think they just go all the way through. Okay, cool. So now that I have all of this selected, I'm going to show you a new trick. We're going to switch from vertex mode to face mode. Okay, so this up here is your faces. The hotkeys are the numbers 1, 2, and 3. If you go 1, 2, 3 with your hotkeys, you see they're changing, right? So we can apply the same loop technique to faces. So if I hold Alt, because I'm on Windows, you're probably Option if you're on Mac, you can click on a face and hit Alt again so you can get a better look. You can click on a face like this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay, come on. Don't embarrass me. Click on. I can't get this face right here. This one. No. I'm trying from the inside. This one. This one. Got it. Oh. So you guys are probably going to have to do that too. And you can see here, it selected the loop from this cut to that cut. And then I can just delete these faces. And let's see how bad that is, or if it's bad. And it turns out it's decently okay. Okay, so if it cut deeper than you wanted it to cut like it did there. Let me show you again. Oh no, actually that worked perfectly. It did a perfect cut. Except it's cutting a little bit on the top over there, that's fine. And this one's cutting a little on the bottom here. That's also fine. Then we're going to do another loop cut. Oh, no, don't do that. Alt. Alt. Hey. That's way too low, man. We can also grab it from here. It should probably be better. Now I think about it. Let's see if I can grab this loop right here. Hey. Or here's another technique. I'm just going to keep throwing techniques at you. I'm going to hide the red varsity jacket. Yeah, that's probably way smarter. Grab this, this. Right there, cool. And you can see that one is not linked through like that. So if I put the red varsity jacket back on, are we going to see that cut? Maybe not. But we are going to see it here. So get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. All right, and then delete those faces. And then, does that do damage to it? Not really. That looks pretty okay to me. Awesome. So we have that all cut up there. We'll switch back into material mode, turn the red varsity jacket off again, grab this loop right here. This is the one I wanted. Deselect these, delete this, go to faces. Okay, do you guys see the craziness in this process? If you really want a super clean VRM and you have a challenging trait like this one, I'm sorry, because this is a tougher one, because you have two layers that are so tightly wrapped on each other. Then you have an open area, right, that is down the middle like this, and you don't want to just, I mean, you could go ghetto. I'm gonna show you the ghetto way to do it. Yeah, why not? Okay, so here's the super ghetto way to do it, but it works, kind of. Make sure you're in edit mode, make sure you're in vertice mode, make sure you have only the under layer selected. Okay, we're gonna go to wireframe. We're gonna go to wireframe, and then we're going to go to C, and right click, wait, I gotta deselect. For some reason, my wireframe is not showing through anymore. I forgot the method to turn that off, which kind of sucks. We're just going to do the ghetto selection way. So we'll switch 3, go to C, and select faces. So if I turn this on here, we know that we just need to get rid of some faces. We know we need to get rid of all the faces underneath this red jacket here, so we can just go and kind of imagine where they are. Go C3, and then just kind of grab all these. I actually don't like that. It's actually worse. It's worse than if I just edit, grab like this. I'll go up instead of down. I'll check that out real quick. See, that looks fantastic. For the most part, that'll completely work. Alright, cool. And then we can flip this back off, and now you can do the other side pretty much too. Let's grab a few of these. How's that looking? Very acceptable. Cool. Believe it or not, we're almost done. That's incredible to me. We'll grab, actually we can probably just control L this right here. And then delete those faces. Grab this, control L these, delete these faces. And then let's see where this covers in the back. All the way up to the neck pretty much. So it pretty much don't need any of these right here, delete these faces, and hit this, control L, delete these faces. And then here is another loop I have going on. Actually, what's up with these two just sticking out there? Oh, because the way it folds up, you don't want that too. Cut there. Got you. Gotcha. I see why I did that. Hide the red jacket again. We probably don't need these. We probably don't need any of these. We'll grab these faces. Probably don't need this whole row. Do I need this row? Do I need that row? Maybe not. Let's try to get rid of this whole row. What? Did I do anything bad? Oh, kind of at the bottom. Maybe save a couple right there. No, it kind of breaks right there. I would leave it. I would just leave it because it's not that many row vertices anyway. Switch back over here. Probably don't need the back though. So we can likely just grab all this. And then maybe even grab all this. Oh, hold on. Let me get into this angle right here. Probably just break it right here. And then break it right here. And grab all of this in the middle. Delete those faces as well. And then let's see how high I went. Okay, so I could probably grab these faces, gone. Maybe grab these faces too. Gone. And then grab this, Control L, and delete these faces. Okay, so let's see if that's better. I think it probably will be. If I go like that. Can I see any of that? Very little. Actually, yes. That's very acceptable. Okay, so that's a solution. You can see here how your situation can be very unique because you want to retain the look of your character while getting rid of anything underneath. Yeah. And then at that point, once you're at this stage right here, then we can do an export again. But before you export, make sure you go and you switch pose, switch to pose, switch to VRM. Then go file and export and go to VRM. And I'm just going to replace the one I have here. It should take a second. Close this. We're still in Hyperfy. Grab this new Clone Tools VRM. Drag and drop it in here. Hit equip. Cool. And oh, look at that. We still have a little bit on the shoulder. The shoulder. My shoulder is killing me. Okay. You, my friend, A pose. Remember A pose. Hit this. Go to object mode. Hit the shirt. Hit this. I guess we have to sacrifice a little bit off the shoulder. Hide the red jacket. We'll maybe select. Can we just select all this? Faces. Is that acceptable looking? Actually, yes. Very good, very good. Maybe delete this one too. I kind of don't like that. We're going to title these two. I think gonna cause problems. Let's see. Let's see. For the most part, that lets these in. Okay, we'll try that. Switch a pose. VRM. VRM. Okay, if you ever run into this error, good job. Me. It's another error, I guess. Click on this first. Somehow you were clicking something and you deselected this. Click on this and then click on your poses again. So make sure the one that looks like a person, this is your rig, is selected. And then your poses will work again. Just make sure in the VRM pose file, export. Welcome to the bug testing portion of the video. VRM Clone Tools .vrm and back into here and go and we'll open up this window and drop this in here and hit equip. Aha, you see now the little glitch there has been removed. So for the most part, that's how you will clean the clipping off of your objects. Some of you will probably have easier clones than others. Like if you have a single piece shirt, you don't have to do any of that. You're pretty much done when you cut the body. But if you have a layered shirt or more complex traits, it's kind of a hassle. It is a little bit, not gonna lie, because you have to cut things proportionally to your unique clothing until I figure out a way to automate that too. But for now, there really isn't a way. Yeah, but that's Clone Converter. That's our very new and easy, quick way to take your clone files and almost immediately spit out a working VRM. Depending on how complicated your clone is, it might take a little bit of manual work to clean out the objects. If you're okay with just having the clipping, then you could just ignore it. You really could. You don't have to do all the cutting. Yeah. But otherwise, that's it. You made your clone for VRM platforms. So we can all do world events now and hang out with our clones together. Isn't that dope?